In order to attack this institution that is important for many, many Canadians, he runs to American billionaires, the tech giants that they continue to defend in committee and in their approach on our legislation to make tech giants pay their fair share. Conservatives are always there to defend them. So when they're trying to attack a foundational Canadian institution, the fact that he has to run to American billionaires for support to attack Canadians?
You know, when a communist cries, a fairy gets its wings. That's Canadian communist Justin Trudeau slamming Twitter for accurately labeling the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation as state-run media. CBC got more than $1 billion from the Canadian big government in the last 2 years. For more, let's bring in Daily Caller reporter Brianna Lyman. We also have Dr. Anthony Harper of Intermountain Christian News and the Human Rights White House News Correspondent. Recently had an interview with David Horowitz censored from pro-communist YouTube. Welcome to you both. Brianna, I want to begin with you. This comes as Elon Musk also labeling PBS and NPR here in the United States as state-run media, and they both left Twitter. You know, it's too bad it took the richest man in the world to state the obvious and to make these biased operations own what they really are.
Yeah, and it's incredible that these news organizations are upset about it. Why would you be ashamed to be government funded? If you're government funded, you should own up to it. And the reason that there's such this big hoopla over it is because obviously Americans do believe that if the government is involved in paying for something, there is going to be some sway. And if you just look, for instance, at NPR's coverage, I mean, they have twisted things left and right like it's their job. They issue corrections, at least monthly. I know the Daily Caller has called them out several times for it. So when you see the way that they lean and you see who's in office, who's funding them, the government, of course it's a little suspicious.
Well, they twist things left and left. I never see them twist anything right. It's always left and left, not left and right. Dr. Harper, someone you can relate to, the creator of a new documentary, Will You Go to Hell for Me? His name is Vince Everett Ellison. He was recently banned from YouTube because he tried to expose the anti-God values of the left. Now, you recently had an interview with David Horowitz taken down by China-friendly YouTube because they claimed it violated the terms of service and misinformation or whatever. Is there any place in American society for woke censorship in your view, sir?
I know it's very, very troubling. The hypocrisy, Chris, and all this matter, hypocrisy of YouTube. And what about, Chris, about most favored status that YouTube and big media has from the White House? It's very hypocritical in this, and I understand the serious concerns that are there about the media not allowing conservative voices to be heard. I read several articles about Parler, the liberal media starboard, the purchase of Parler and their agenda. But this is really troubling, Chris. I know that your program, you've been censored as well, and so many other conservative voices. But I think really troublesome more so is at the White House being censored as a member of the evangelical Christian community, the media. This is not to be allowed. The press secretary censors me, refuses to meet with me, and shuns me. Very disturbing that the so-called transparent White House administration is hypocritical on so many fronts.
Oh, it is. And you know what? We people of faith do have targets painted on us by the American left and the Democrat Party. And Brianna, I wanted to talk to you about Parler since it was just brought up. Parler was sold to some new owners who then turned around and shut down the platform, no care or notice to their users. A statement posted where Parler.com used to be reads in part, "No reasonable person believes that a Twitter clone just for conservatives is a viable business anymore," end quote. Now, this told me in the Chris Salcedo show that, that Parler's dead because it was never about a safe space for conservatives. It was always about a free speech space. What is your take on Parler's purchase?
Chris, you just made it perfectly clear. This isn't about creating a safe space for conservatives because we don't care. I mean, I'm still on Twitter and it's not safe for me on Twitter, okay? And I know so many millions of conservatives feel like that. But it was about making sure that we aren't, for instance, shadow banned. And, speaking of shadow banning, you think now with Elon Musk and Twitter, I mean, they're saying that they're going to be shadow banning things that they consider hate speech. This is the exact reason Elon Musk stepped in to buy Twitter. This is the reason people said, you know what? I'm not going to flee to Parler or Getter or these other Truth Social because I can now stay on Twitter and have my voice heard. And again, we're seeing the same censorship patterns emerge. And now that Parler's gone, I mean, you're seeing conservatives quite literally lose all avenues for free speech.
Well, thank goodness for True Social, for Getter, and MeWe and others out there. Well, Dr. Harper, I did want to ask you about this new policy coming out from Musk. Musk putting a shadow banning policy in place on Twitter. The new label will reportedly read, visibility limited. This tweet may violate Twitter's rules against hateful conduct. Very subjective. Dr. Harper, does Twitter's policy of censorship go down easier simply because now they're just being open about it?
Well, they seem that way to some. And, I think really the overall concern is about the censorship of YouTube, as I mentioned, regarding banning my David Horowitz interview, the hypocrisy of YouTube. But Twitter, it is entitled, as all these private platforms, to censor, I guess, to the degree about the issue of hate speech. But the hypocrisy, YouTube does not understand what true hate speech is for a lot of evangelical concerns, is hate speech that would support Christian values would be considered hate speech. And those that favor the left, that would be considered welcome speech.
Yep. What is considered hateful is in the eyes of the beholder, and who the hell said Twitter can judge that? Dr. Anthony Harper and Brianna Lyman, thank you very much for your time. Coming up, the moment you've all been waiting for, the great John